G'day, legends. We're locked in for UFC Fight Night, Bautista versus Oliveira. And this one might be flying under the radar, but don't get it twisted. There's real heat on this card. In the main event, we have Mario Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira at bantamweight. Bautista brings a well-rounded, pressure-heavy game with serious submission threat. Oliveira comes in aggressive, fast, and dangerous on the feet. A classic styles clash. Control and experience versus momentum and power. Big implications for the 135 rankings. There's plenty of hungry fighters up and down this card looking to make statements. These fight nights are where contenders are built, not talked about. If you're rocking with the content, hit the like button and subscribe. We're making a push for 500 subscribers, and every bit of support helps more than you know. As always, no noise, no narratives. We let the fights and the results do the talking. Stay sharp, stay husky. Kicking off the card in the women's bantamweight division, we have Priscila Cachoeira versus Klaudia Syguła. For Priscila to win, she'll want to walk forward and make it a brawl. She thrives in close quarters, punching exchanges, and heavy hits. That's where her power matters most. She'll want to look for an early knockout. She's knocked out opponents before, particularly with big shots like her uppercut, so a short fight blitz can pay off. She'll want to pressure Syguła to make mistakes. Constant forward aggression can force Syguła into rushed strikes or risky decisions. If she keeps it messy, stays in range, and lands big early strikes, she can end this. Klaudia will want to keep it sharp and technical. She's more accurate and controlled with her strikes, and she can pick her shots and avoid reckless swings. She'll want to use range and volume by landing clean strikes and moving well. She can win rounds even if she stays standing. Avoid wild punches. Syguła doesn't want to trade heavy shots in tight spaces. That plays to Cachoeira's strengths. If Syguła stays composed and lands consistently and doesn't get dragged into a chaotic pocket war, she can win on points. Klaudia will be more clean, controlled offense, and she'll outwork the power. Give me Klaudia Syguła by decision. In the bantamweight division, we have Muin Gafurov versus Jakub Wikłacz. Muin can win if he uses his all-round finishing ability. He gets finishes with both strikes and submissions, so he can end the fight in different ways. He'll want to have a lot of pressure and pace. He's comfortable pushing forward and mixing his game, striking to set up takedowns or scrambles. He has a threat everywhere. He doesn't rely on one area. His ground down and stand up are both real paths to a finish. Muin's path is to make this messy and stay active in every phase. If it becomes a war of scrambles, he can catch something big. Jakub will want to capitalize on grappling transitions. He has a ton of submission wins, so if he gets Muin into long grappling sequences, he can threaten with chokes and joint locks. He'll want to control through grappling. Even if he doesn't finish, he can use top control and steady takedowns to win rounds. He'll want to stay composed on the feet. He doesn't have one punch power, so he needs to pick his shots and not get careless trading strikes. Wikłac's best path is to turn this into a ground control and submission openings, not a brawl. I see Wikłacz out-grappling and outpacing Muin over 3 rounds. Give me Jakub Wikłacz by decision.
This is the road to ruin, and we're starting at the end. Say yeah.
In the women's flyweight division, we have Wang taking on Eduarda Moura. Wang wins this fight by control and consistency. She's at her best when she dictates the rhythm, staying composed, picking moments, and letting things turn chaotic. If she keeps the fight in structured exchanges, she can bank rounds by being the cleaner, more measured fighter. This is the kind of matchup she doesn't need to force anything Just stay disciplined, stay upright, and let rounds stack. If the fight stays largely on the feet, with brief clinch moments, Wang's calm approach shines. Judges love that kind of steadiness. Mora's win condition is momentum and pressure. She needs to make the fight messy and emotional, forcing scrambles, closing distance, and dragging Wang out of her comfort zone. If Mora can impose her presence and keep the fight physical, she can flip rounds by being the aggressor and creating uncertainty. Her best chance is making Wang react instead of lead. If she turns this into a grind or catches Wang in a chaotic sequence, that's when Mora can steal it. This feels like a fight where Wang stays composed, doesn't bite on chaos, and does just enough every round to stay ahead. Not flashy, not dramatic, but professional, controlled, and smart. Give me Cong Wang by decision. In the bantamweight division, we have Jean Masumoto versus Farid Basharat. Masumoto wins by controlling the pace and using sharp technical striking. He picks his shots carefully, mixes in angles, and keeps Basharat guessing. If he can keep the fight clean and avoid getting sucked into wild exchanges, he can rack up points and land fight-ending combinations. Basharat wins by being aggressive and relentless. He pressures, closes distance, and forces Masumoto to react under fighter. If Basharat lands a combination or turns a big scramble into a sudden finish, he can steal the fight. Energy, pace, and boldness are his path to victory. I see Farid pushing the pace, keeping Masumoto from settling, and wins the rounds with consistent pressure and activity. Give me Farid Basharat by decision. In the women's strawweight division, we have Bruna Brasil taking on Ketlen Souza. Brasil wins by striking with precision and using movement to stay out of Souza's power range. She picks her shots carefully, lands crisp counters, and keeps Souza on the back foot. If she can keep the fight clean and avoid big exchanges, she can break Souza's down and finish with a big strike. Souza wins by being aggressive and forcing the fight into chaos. She closes the distance, pressures with heavy combinations, and looks to finish inside. If she can corner Brasil or overwhelm her with volume, she can either score a stoppage or dominate the rounds with control. I see Ketlen imposes her pace, forces Brasil into uncomfortable spots, and takes the rounds with consistent pressure and activity. Give me Ketlen Souza by decision.
Oh my good case, red flags, but I still want to chase.
In the featherweight division, we have Nikolay Veretennikov versus Niko Price. Nikolay wins if he fights patiently and not rushing to finish. Uses basic clean striking, jab, straight right, simple combos. Makes Price miss by staying just outside and letting Price overswing. Every time Price charges in, Nikolay hits him first. Over time, Price starts slowing and taking damage. Once Price is hurt, Nikolay steps on the gas and finishes. For Niko to win, he'll want to force chaos early. Throw looping power shots, weird timing, flying knees, anything unexpected. Pressures non-stop so Nikolay can't get comfortable, tries to make it ugly and emotional, and land that one big shot that changes everything. I think Nikolay stays composed. He breaks Price down and stops him. Give me Nikolay Veretennikov by knockout. In the featherweight division, we have Alex Morono taking on Daniil Donchenko. Morono wins by flow and feel. If he can get comfortable, he turns the fight into something loose and reactive, lots of looks, small adjustments, and awkward moments. He thrives when exchanges aren't scripted and when his opponents start reacting instead of leading. Over time, that can quickly tilt rounds or set up a late finish. Donchenko wins by clarity and commitment. If he keeps the fight structured and doesn't get drawn into Morono's rhythm game, he can land something clean and decisive. His best moments come when he plants his feet, picks his shots, and commits fully, especially early before Morono settles in. This feels like a fight where the cleaner, more decisive moments matter more than volume or flow. If Donchenko stays patient and doesn't chase, the opening shows up, and when it does, it ends fast. Give me Daniil Donchenko by knockout.
Just one more tear to cry, one teardrop from my eye.
In the light heavyweight division, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Julius Walker. Kobe wins if he turns it into a striking war. He controls the distance, times counters perfectly, and uses heavy, accurate shots to break through Walker's guard. If he lands one clean bomb, it could end the fight instantly. Pressure and precision are his keys. He doesn't need to wrestle, he just needs to land first and finish. For Walker to win, he'll want to be weathering Jacoby's early storm and forcing a scramble or dirty exchanges. He can use pressure, rough inside work, and unpredictability to drag Jacoby into a situation where a big shot of flurry changes the fight. If the fight hits the pocket or chaos, Walker thrives. I see Dustin landing a big shot before Walker can create any havoc. Fast, clean, and decisive. Give me Dustin Jacoby by knockout.
Turn the crowd up now, we'll never back down, shoot down the skyline.
In the bantamweight division, we have Jean Masumoto versus Farid Basharat. Masumoto wins by controlling the pace and using sharp technical striking. He picks his shots carefully, mixes in angles, and keeps Basharat guessing. If he can keep the fight clean and avoid getting sucked into wild exchanges, he can rack up points and land fight-ending combinations. Basharat wins by being aggressive and relentless. He pressures, closes distance, and forces Masumoto to react under fighter. If Basharat lands a combination or turns a big scramble into a sudden finish, he can steal the fight. Energy, pace, and boldness are his path to victory. I see Farid pushing the pace, keeping Masumoto from settling, and wins the rounds with consistent pressure and activity. Give me Farid Basharat by decision. In the middleweight division, we have Mitchell Oleksiejczuk versus Marc-André Barriou. Mitchell wins by being first and being mean. He doesn't need layers or patience here. His path is simple. Step forward, sit down on shots, and force Barriou into exchanges he can't avoid. If Mitchell sets the feet and commits early, he can overwhelm Barriou before the fight ever finds a rhythm. This is a matchup where his confidence matters. Once he smells danger, he pours it on. If he lands cleaning the opening exchanges, this fight could end fast. Barriou's win condition is attrition. He wants to survive the early storm, keep Mikel working, and drag this into uncomfortable territory. If he can weather the first wave and force a high output, ugly fight, he can break momentum and start taking over. His best chance is turning it into a war where volume, toughness, and persistence matter more than precision. This feels like a classic styles collide fight, and the cleaner, heavier starter usually wins it. Give me Mitchell Oleksiejczuk by knockout.
Just one more tear to cry, one teardrop from my eye.
In the heavyweight division, we have Jailton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev. Jailton wins by turning it into a grappling clinic. He pressures, closes distance, and uses his wrestling and jiu-jitsu to control Kuniev on the ground. If he secures a dominant position or lands a submission setup, he can finish the fight or dominate every round. Even on his feet, his heavy hands and clinch work can punish mistakes. Kuniev wins by staying fast, sharp, and dynamic. He uses angles, footwork, and volume striking to frustrate Almeida. If he keeps the fight standing, lands clean combinations, and avoids being taken down, he can outpoint Almeida or catch him with a big strike in the opening. Jelton's pressure, control, and ground dominance give him the edge over 3 rounds. He has the tools to finish Kniev. Give me Jaton Almeida by submission. And in the co-main event of the flyweight division, we have Amir Albazi taking on Ryoji Haraguchi. Albazi turns it into a grind. He pressures early, forces clinches, mixes takedowns with consistent body contact, and makes Ryoji work every second. If Albazi can slow the pace, keep Haraguchi backed up, and turn the fight ugly, he can edge rounds by control, pressure, and late momentum. How Haraguchi wins is by speed, timing, and discipline. He stays light on his feet, picks Albazi apart at range, and never overcommits. He stuffs or escapes just enough grappling to keep the fight standing, lands the cleanest shots, and controls the rhythm for long stretches. It's a calm veteran performance. I see Haraguchi with the cleaner work, better movement, and experience over 3 rounds. Give me Karaji Haraguchi by decision. In the main event of the bantamweight division, we have Mario Bautista taking on Vinicius Oliveira. For Mario to win, he'll want to push a steady pace and doesn't let the fight stay chaotic. He'll want to mix in his strikings with clinch work and grappling to stay in control. Keep Oliveira working, slow him down, and win rounds through pressure. Focus on control over damage and let the fight go long. Mario wins by taking over the fight with pace and control, not by chasing a finish. For Vinicius to win, he'll want to keep the fight standing and avoid long clinches or grappling. Use explosive attacks and big moments to hurt Bautista. Look to catch Bautista early or mid-fight before the pace grinds him down. Turn the fight into a wild striking battle. He'll win if he lands something big or ends it before Bautista settles in. Bautista absorbs the early danger, takes control as the fight goes on, and wins with consistently dictating where the fight happens. Give me Mario Bautista by decision.
I can't get no sleep.